course, the big story that encompasses all is the one that we are looking towards in December. That is the ANC's elective conference. Now, more disputes about the ANC nomination lists are cropping up with only a week to go before the ANC elective congress at Nasrec on the south of Johannesburg. Apart from NEC member Lindiwe Sisulu's dispute of the top 6 lists, disgruntled members are now questioning the list of the 200 candidates running for the National Executive Committee seats. Grievances range from, among others, qualification criteria to gender parity. Next week's 55th National Conference will whittle down the NEC list to 80 members. Well, joining us now to discuss this latest round of disputes is ANC member and one of the objectors under the name the Kgalema list, any disputed NEC list demanding transparency and accountability. Dr. Mashaba, good evening, and thank you very much for your time and for joining us today here on In Focus.
Good evening, Thabo. Thank you very much for inviting me to the studio.
From what I'm gathering, you have served a notice of objection/demands to the ANC's electoral committee on the 5th. You gave them 48 hours to respond to your demands, which have got to do with more information pertaining to, for example, the provincial nomination list, the total number of branch nominations received per candidate, including the respective nominated branches, all guests, rather all the nominees who declined, all the nominees who were disqualified, and so on and so forth. Has your notice found a favorable response and in the stipulated time?
Thank you very much. It's true, we did serve one of the members who is representing a group of 16. As we say, that what we have done was that we gave them a notice for 48 hours. We received a response from Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe today, which it was not sufficient enough because they did not deal with most of the issues that we were asking. What we are actually asking when we served the petition, we created as well a petition online, which is currently with the members of ANC who are disgruntled because there was no process and there was no a platform where they could go and lay the grievances in regards to this objection of the final list of the additional members in the NEC. So what we have done was that we first wrote to the committee, which Chief Matsela responded to us, and then said with no time, we must give them a week. We requested that they must give us the raw data. Because what they have done, that they decided to go and announce the names, which was actually led by Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe. The most important thing that we're looking at was that we wanted to understand the criteria used, in fact, in order to get to the number. And it will be good for us because most of the branch have nominated a number of nominees, so that they can be part of the NEC. Yeah. So one of the other things that we said to them was that could they please give us the raw data, release the raw data, as they made it publicly, and they said to us that when Kgalema Motlanthe announced publicly, said that they've considered the gender parity, yeah, and as well as they went and vetted all the members. They are sure that they vetted all those members. So. Yeah. We wanted them to release the data, okay, to us so that we can be able to satisfy. It must be on public as well. That's what, of course, that's what we were asking. Right. And then we decided that maybe what we should do, because some of the members, they don't know, can we set up what we call a petition? We did a petition. Currently, we're sitting to close about 300 members of ANC who are not able to sign the petition. And they actually very aggrieved, most of the members, and we really feel that the way the process was handled, it was fraud. Yeah. It was also one of the biggest...
serious charge that you're putting on the Electoral Commission. Yes, yes. Let's take it slowly. You're saying, as you've already mentioned, that the notice of the objectors was signed by one comrade, and this is an issue that the Electoral Commission is taking here, saying what is the local standing? What is the local standing in law of this individual? They don't seem to find any document, I suppose, that confers a power of attorney to this particular comrade, so that he takes the posture of being the messenger that represents the whole group.
I think it's just a delaying tactic. For me, I would say to you, we don't even have to give them that document, but all the members that are confirmed, they are part and parcel and participated in the group. That is one of their delaying tactics that they're trying to use, because they even actually came up with that we must give them another 5 days or 7 days a week, which already we know that it will be on a conference time. Yeah. So it's a delaying tactic. I think it's not something that is holding. All the members that have participated, all the members that are there, they agree, they're participating, which we are leading them. Yeah. I'm one of the leaders that leading the group together with Comrade Mukhumuti, Mkhodiri and Buddha Tsotezi, all of us. So it's a delaying tactic. I think, they understand how the ANC work. Yeah. Is that they want to work in towards next week. When next week comes and then the conference is started, there isn't anything. So
they are saying that you are jumping the gun here, that because they are still completing, for example, the verification process. They are also still completing what you are calling for all those nominees who have declined. So they are still going through the process of receiving all those responses of those who are declining and so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, saying be a little bit patient and don't be mischievous. I mean, I'm just reading the undertone of their response, saying what essentially you are doing will disrupt and possibly plunge this conference into disrepute. That's the word that they're using.
Yes, look, the ANC is an NGO. It's an organization of the people by the people. What we were actually saying, if you look at their rules at 8.5, it clearly states that the process that they started with, it's the last process. They can't say they're verifying and vetting now, right? They have already announced. The list is public as we speak. How do you come up as a leader, former president of ANC, former secretary of the ANC called Kgalema Motlanthe? He made it public. He said they have vetted the members. And they've came up with that number, and they've tallied what they've done. They also was to make sure that they consider gender parity as well. Yeah. So, I mean, it's actually a contradiction of what they're saying, in fact.
So what are your grounds for disputing this? I mean, one of the, what they're saying, the innuendos is that you are alleging that they are trying to usurp the power of the NEC. They are also trying to usurp the power of the dispute bodies within the organization. Is that the sum of it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They're trying to do that. They're trying to manage it. They also, we are alleging that the fact that they don't want to release the data. They don't want to show the raw data. It's one of the other things that we're talking about. We're saying that they're trying to do that. They're trying to manage it. They're trying to come up with their own list, which is not the true reflection of what the branches and the nominations have been done by the branches. The branches have nominated themselves. They've nominated, they know the candidates, and they know how many they've given to each nominee. So exactly, this is exactly what we are saying to them. We are saying to them the process is flawed. And we are saying if they can prove to us and release the data, the raw data, then we'll accept. They're
saying you're being mischievous because you should know that they are not managing the process. They are merely playing a role of oversight as delegated by the NEC. In fact, they are saying that there's an appointed agency, elections, which collected the branch nominations from the provincial offices and opened the nomination booklets in front of the provincial and regional secretariats to ensure this transparency that you're calling.
Yes, of course, they are saying that. It's not what we believe. If they are saying it is true that they have appointed an agency, I mean, surely before you can even announce, you should have a list that you're sitting with that says that Mashaba got 5, Mashaba got 3 here, Mashaba got this. So, I mean, the action speaks louder than words. I think they should just give us the raw data. They must release it. And once they do that, then it must be public as well. It's one of the other things that we are saying. We on our side, we're saying they are a bit mischievous. They have an agenda that they're trying to run. They want to exclude certain individuals so that they cannot participate in the conference. Because it's going to be very difficult that if you go to a conference that you did not even take into consideration objections of the branches and the, in fact, nominees. If someone objects, you must have a committee that is sitting there that deals with the objections before you can even go and announce the final list.
Did you not then skip a process here as far as raising your objections? They are saying you have a body called the NDRC, where you are supposed to go and lodge your complaint, the National Dispute Resolution Committee, which is responsible for resolving all these things. And they say a simple call to the Secretariat would have answered all your questions, and you would have gone to the dispute resolution body, and those issues would have been answered.
I hear you what you are saying, but Mzuli, one of the most important things that the ANC should have is transparency. What we are asking for, the issues of that we've skipped the body, it's irrelevant. I mean, now and then that members of the organization are demanding the raw data. We're demanding that they must show us. I mean, it's a very simple as that when you announce, you must have that data. You must be able to explain to us. And you should have just taken us into confidence and say, come to the Tulia house on such a date, can you come? And then we discuss this. They never said that. They just decided to brush us like what they did to Comrade Lindiwe Sisulu. You know? And it's simple. We're not talking about the whole conference or top 6. We're talking about NEC. We're saying NEC additionals. That's what we're talking about. And that's the objection that we're talking about. We strictly written a letter to them. You know? And one of the most important things that they could have done was just to take us into confidence. You know?
So this undertaking that they're saying that we appeal for all ANC comrades, particularly yourselves, to exercise patience while we conduct due diligence necessary for the publication of nomination outcomes and results. You're saying it's just merely kicking for touch.
It is definitely kicking for touch. Why do you have to do a damage control now? After you have announced. You have announced, you went public and you said we didn't make it. You said these people didn't make it. They are not there. The branches didn't vote for them. And these are the names of the people that the branches have voted for them. Just prove to us. Go public, put that list there and say there's a list of people that have been voted and these are the numbers. Then now, well, we'll accept that.
So one of the things that you bring in your grounds for raising this objection is this question of nominations that will happen from the floor. It's something that the Minister of Tourism has also raised to say, well, I in my calculation, have reached the 25% threshold.
Yes.
And the response from the Electoral Committee was that, well, that doesn't apply until we actually get to conference. The 25% threshold, according to rule as a 12.7 of the ANC, only applies when you are at conference. You also raised this issue around the limitation to the number of nominees coming from the floor, which is 2. And you're saying this is the reason why you need this to come now in a hurry, quick, fast. Why?
Yeah, it's definitely sure, because when you get to the conference, there's a lot of issues that are going to be raised at the conference, and there's a number of manipulation systems that they use. We know, I mean, we grew up in the ANC, we know how to understand. They might have to, they might skip that. And in terms of raising numbers from the floor, that 25%, it becomes a very difficult. People, you must understand that the process that they've undertaken, that they are we're going to vote for the top 6 first, and then we go for additional. By the time you go there to the additional, people are tired. Comrades are tired. There will be some of them, they will be disgruntled and walking away. In terms of the system, the new system that they brought up, that we have to vote for one name, president first, and then they have to count and then announce, then we come and vote for the deputy and then the secretary, like that. So it will take us almost a week, and that process, it might not even happen. So hence we said that the other issue that we are asking that the committee, because they did not even give us the answers in terms of what we've written in the letters. So we said to them, we're actually giving them that, can they discuss it in the NEC? Let the NEC discuss this matter. We wrote it on the 9th when the NEC sits. Can they discuss this matter of objections before it can even get to the conference? Which is, I think it's a fair enough plea from the members of the organization, you know?
Yeah. Is that the next level of escalation? Because you're saying failing to accede to our demand, we will escalate this according to a number of rules that you're citing there.
Yes, it's the next level, because I think the NEC must discuss. It has to be discussed in the NEC that in terms of the objection, what are they going to do and how are they going to handle the objection of the members of the ANC? Because you're going to a conference with disgruntled members. You're going to a conference with disgruntled branches who are not happy. When branches vote, they decide that we vote for this name and then we push the name. And when they push the name, they know that they've nominated such names and they've made it in the list, and so on. So one of the problems that we are also not happy about is the criteria that Comrade Kgalema, Motlanthe and the committee used with the chief, the so-called Chief Matsila. So we're not happy about it. We feel that it's not a process of ANC. It's not the ANC that we know.
Yeah. What do you suspect? Because I suppose you are asking for it. You're saying, show us what this criteria is. But what do you suspect is the criteria that has been used?
Yeah, I think it's a thuggery. That's the criteria of thuggery. That's...
What do you mean it's thuggery, Dr. Mashaba?
No, you can't do that. You can't. You have rules.
Yeah.
You look at the rules of the conference, especially the 8.5. You look at some of those rules in terms of how do you choose your NEC members and what is the process that they've applied in order to announce, to get to a point where they announce.
Yeah.
And then they say to you, we're still vetting, we're still auditing, but they've already announced.
So are you saying to me there are nominees who were disqualified and they were told you're being disqualified, but they were not given reasons why they were disqualified?
I didn't see that list. I didn't see that. If there's any member of ANC that is so that, can please show us? No one. We didn't see that. Hence they are saying to us they are now doing a vetting. We didn't see, no one knows about disqualification. These are the things that we're talking about, we are disgruntled about. If there's a disqualification of a certain member, what is the criteria that they use to disqualify that comrade?
And what are the grounds for you suspecting that? One of the things that the Electoral Commission says in one of their responses is that you cannot make claims without bringing supportive evidence for your claims. Otherwise, the claim is literally useless because you can't use it. So you're making a claim that there's a possibility that there are people who've been disqualified. What evidence are you presenting that these people have been disqualified?
No, I didn't say that. I said they didn't disqualify. I didn't say that there's a possibility.
Yeah.
We are asking them to show us that which people were disqualified.
Okay.
That's our basic plea with them as well, to say, can you show us who was, if Mashaba was disqualified, on what criteria and how was it disqualified and what are the reasons for him to get a disqualification? Is it the issue of a step aside? Is it the issue of that Mashaba was involved in a corruption scandal? Or is it? So you need to tell us as members of ANC. I think it's fair enough that that committee should have done that.
Right. What we have seen in the build-up to this conference through the BGMs, the PGMs, and so on and so forth, and all the gatherings that have happened is that they've gone ahead with the disputes being lodged. Yes. And by all accounts, it seems to me that this conference, even with this dispute, will seek to go ahead. Unless, of course, the court of law would give an order that it doesn't. Is that the route that you are willing to go? It's literally a week to go.
As I said, ANC is an NGO. It's an organization of people by the people. We are definitely going to exhaust all the avenues to make sure that they follow the process themselves. And as the members of the committee and as the ANC, including Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe, as one of our leaders and one of our respected leaders. So we are going to do that. We are going to make sure that we follow avenues, all the avenues. Even if it means we have to bring the interdict in front of their eyes, we'll do it. We'll definitely bring an interdict to the conference. We'll definitely bring an interdict so that they listen to us. The objections are recorded in the conference. They have to record some of these objections. They have to. It's a very important thing that the branches are asking and they're requesting. And the petition that has been signed by some of the branches of the ANC, it shows that people are very disgruntled. And comrades of ANC are disgruntled because of the process that the ANC is trying to do.
Right. Dr. Mashaba, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming in and enlightening us. There was a member of the ANC and Objector under the banner Kgalema disputed NEC list demanding transparency and accountability. And they'll be addressing media tomorrow. More on those objections. Well,